Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. My name is Andre Mora. I will be your presenter for today, and we have Adriana Contreras here with us as well from Ascendus. We will present ourselves shortly. Just want to thank you all for making the time to coming out here and taking the time to better yourselves. Going to that seminar, might not sound as fun as going to the beach, going to the pool, going to the out in the ocean, but you are entrepreneurs or you're going to be, and you're willing to work hard for what is right for your business and what you guys want for your life. So I congratulate you already, and we're going to start. So welcome to our Access to Capital seminar. We're going to talk a little bit about how we access capital, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with a few technical pointers. Okay. First thing, if you have a little bit of technical issues like I had earlier, first thing to do is check the three little buttons here to maybe switch audio if you can't hear us, or if you want to switch and log into your phone so you can hear us through the phone, look at us through the screen. That you can go to the three little buttons, switch audio, and then you can call in. Okay. The most important part right here. Hold on, I think I'm getting a chat. Can everybody hear me? Is the chat. Everyone, so this is why the chat is so important. Just to make sure, we're communicating and then you guys can hear me. Okay. So for the one person that has no sound, first of all, check your volume. Thank you for letting me know. And do the switch audio thing. This is why we give out these technical pointers. Thank you guys for your participation. This is the chat. This is how we communicate with each other. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will be the first one to take a look at them and make sure that we get through all the questions. Okay. Continue on. We want to start off. I like to call this the thank you hour because we have a lot of people to thank, and we want to start with the City of Miami Beach and the Economic Development Department over at Miami Beach. We're working really closely with them with helping all the businesses based out of Miami Beach. We help everybody here at Prospera, but we're focusing on Miami Beach, making sure that those businesses there in beautiful South Beach are able to get through the pandemic and build sustainable businesses. Okay, so we want to thank you, Mikey. I know you're in here. Thank you again for you're a great partner. So this is the Miami Beach Business Academy technical assistance that we're working with the Economic Development Department over at the City of Miami Beach and Prospera. That's us. And what we've been doing is we've been giving technical assistance in terms of consultation and seminars like this one, in which we talk about accessing capital, social media, operations and capacity. That one already passed, so you guys are on the access to capital piece. Mark your calendars. I'm going to be talking about digital presence at the end of the when that program will be. But you guys are in good hands. We got great technical assistance seminars coming in, and we're doing technical assistance consultation in person or via Zoom, wherever you guys are at. We also want to thank the Miami-Dade Business Navigator. So this is a program. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. They're also helping us out with giving out this seminar, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Send us, and Adriana also work with it very closely. So it's a great program and something we're able to work with. Let's see. Okay. So about the Miami-Dade Business Navigator, it's a program funded by the SBA, and what it's done, it's created what it's called a program in which it kind of creates a hub or organization and it creates a spoke. So think of like a bicycle tire, in which it's giving organizations like Prospera, Ascendus, branches here in Miami-Dade County the incentive to work together and advocate small businesses in their recovery and be able to work with them and make them more resilient and sustainable after this pandemic. Okay? The goal is to improve long-term economic recovery, help small businesses, especially those that are owned by veterans, women, socially advantaged, socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. Okay? So these are the companies that are working with this program. We have Prospera, Ascendus, which is where Adriana is from. We have the chambers here in Miami-Dade County branches. So SBDC. We have a lot of great organizations working together to help you guys. Okay. So if you're in Miami-Dade County, please let me know. And if you're interested in this program, we'll be able to help you out. If you're in Miami Beach, please let me know so that we can help you out there in Miami Beach as well. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys say.org. Great. And I'm going to give you guys Mikey's email right now for Miami Beach CDBG as well at the end of this seminar, okay? So we talked about this. And if you ever need to know anything about the Navigator, I highly, highly recommend this YouTube page. Even if you're not in Miami-Dade County, there's great, this seminar will be on there. It'll also be on the Miami Beach CDBG's webpage, the economic development page. So I'm going to put that link at the end of the seminar as well. So because this seminar, along with other seminars, will be recorded and will be available there. Okay. So for today's presenters, you have me. My name is Andre Mora, business development consultant here at Prospera in Miami, Florida. We have the amazing Adriana Contreras, senior loan consultant from Ascendus. Thank you so much for coming. And we also want to continue with the thank yous for the annual sponsors that make the Prospera and that have been helping Prospera be able to grow into what it is today after 30 years here in Florida. Okay, so let's go in to enough of the thank you hour. Thank you so much. But it's time to go into the seminar, right? We have the agenda. Who is Prospera? Prospera Services. What do we do? How do we do it? And then we bring in Adriana Contreras to tell us accessing capital, tell us a bit about Ascendus, tell us a little bit about herself, and continue on this wonderful seminar. And then, of course, we have time for any questions that you guys may have. So who is Prospera? Prospera is Florida's leading non-profit focused on economic development. We specialize in providing bilingual technical assistance for low to moderate income businesses. The reason we say advancing Hispanic businesses is because we like to, we can speak in Spanish and English, but we provide technical assistance to any business with need, okay? And as you can see, we're not just in Florida, we're starting to grow into Georgia, North Carolina, and we're expanding little bit by little bit, bringing our mission and helping as many businesses as we can. What do we do best? We work with you. We make sure that if you're starting a business, you're not making the common errors that most people do. For example, I had a client that signed a contract to purchase, to rent a location for 5 years without incorporating your business, didn't check any other permits, and we want to make sure that you guys don't commit those errors. So please, we're going to talk a little bit about our services. If you guys are interested, make sure to reach out to us. We have the partners to be able to help you, and we have the services to be able to help you. Okay? So what are those services? Business seminars, like the ones you guys are in right now. We can talk about general business practices, or we can talk about specialized workshops such as how to access capital, social media, which we're doing next month. We can really dive into the business practices that every business needs. Okay. The next part is the business consulting. This is the much more open one. If you do come in to get technical assistance here at Prospera, it really comes down to you and your stage of business and what you guys are looking for. You're here to develop a relationship with someone that is going to be essentially your business partner without being your actual business partner, and help you no matter what with your, as much as we can with the services that we have available. Okay. Third part, access to capital. We are not a financial organization like Ascendus What we do is the consulting around it. So what we do is we take a look at your financials, and we make sure that you're at the right stage in your business and your personal life to be able to afford a loan and see if it's something that's right for you at that moment and stage of your life and your business. Okay. And once we do, we see, hey, we can move forward with this. We work with a lot of partners in the community. We make sure we take you to the right program, and we make sure that we don't just refer you, we don't just drop you off. We go with you to these organizations and we work on your behalf. Okay. The last piece is tools for entrepreneurial advancement. You know, what the heck is that, Andre? I'll tell you what that is. What we do here at Prospera is we subcontract specialized services depending on what your business needs. Let's say, for example, we're here at a consulting, Andre. I don't know how to manage my accounting. Well, let me tell you, we have an assessment where we pay for you to go to a CPA and have a CPA review all your finances, your taxes, and tell you, this is what you need to do. These are the types of, bookkeeping procedures that you need to be looking at. And what else do we do? If you're looking to incorporate your business, okay, and you already have the idea, you have everything set up, we have a legal assessment to help you incorporate the right way. We're not going to send you to anybody in Cayocho who does it for $5. We send you to a professional lawyer who is going to be able to help you get your business started, the legal structure the right way. And that's huge. We also help you with business plans, QuickBooks training. We have branding. In case you're starting off, you need a logo, we help you with that. So we're here to help you. Please take advantage of what's out here, because every one of these services, thanks to the help from the SBA, thanks to the help from Michael Rivera and the Economic Development Department at Miami Beach, we're able to offer these services for free for you guys, okay? For free monetarily, but it does take its time. So please, if you see any value in this, please let me know. Okay, so how are we able to offer this? I kind of alluded to it in the thank you hour and what I just said. We're a nonprofit. Our services are free of charge thanks to donations from past clients and our donors, and our partners like Michael Rivera at Miami Beach and the SBA, and the ones we saw earlier at our thank you hour. So if in any case you want to donate, we have www.prosperousa.org/donate. I have a lot of clients that when I explain to them the services, they're like, most of them are Latino, and they're like, "Oye, pero cómo es eso, chico? How is that possible?" And because they can't believe it. It's a great service and it's available for free. You just got to take the time to do it. Okay. Here's some of the clients that have been able to take advantage of our services, and they've been able to grow right alongside us. Now, without further ado, I want to present Miss Adriana Contreras, because she will be speaking about accessing capital and speaking about Ascendus as well. Hola Adriana, ¿cómo estás? How are you?
Good. How are you, Andre? How's it going?
Doing great. Like I said, it's going to be a great seminar. I'm feeling pretty good.
Excellent.
And thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, no, thank you for inviting me. Thank you, everyone, for participating today, this lovely Tuesday afternoon with finally sunshine out and no rain. Excellent. So let's get started. So as Andre said, I'm going to be doing the portion of the access to capital. My name is Adriana Contreras. I'm a senior loan consultant for Ascendus here in Miami, Florida. We are a microfinance organization. So Ascendus, we're formerly known as Acción East. We're a nonprofit community development financial institution that provides access to capitals to individuals that are not yet bankable. We've been providing our services since 1991, formerly known as Acción East, but back in late 2020, we rebranded and actually changed our names to Ascendus. We have over 29 years of experience here in the nationwide. We provided small business loans to over 67,000 entrepreneurs and more than 600,000 million in capital. Our goal is to provide access to capital to those particular individuals who are not yet bankable or don't meet the credit requirements when it comes to applying for a loan. And assist the businesses that are starting up or only have less than 2 years in operations. That's our main target. So microfinance. When it comes to applying for a small business loan, individuals have many ways of accessing capital. You can either reach out to friends, family, credit cards, which we typically don't recommend, microloans from organizations such as us or other community development institutions out there, your local bank, SBA loans, or you can also get it from equity investments, 401k accounts, anything that you could do to be able to help your business. So what we do, we are the middleman. Okay, we work in partnership with other organizations such as Prospera, other banks such as Bank of America, Chase, Popular Bank, etc. We help the entrepreneurs that are not yet bankable. Okay, they don't meet the requirements through the particular financial institution because A, they don't have a good credit score, or B, the business doesn't have more than 2 years of operations, or C, the revenue that the bank is requesting for that particular business is not enough in order to be able to sustain a loan. Okay. When it comes to credit, okay, and then finding a good and affordable lender, you have many options, of course. As I mentioned, you have your local banks. They're always going to be able to provide the lowest interest rate. You have micro lenders such as us, okay? Our requirements are pretty much the same. The only difference with local banks is, like I said, you need the 2 years in operations and X, Y, and Z amount of revenue for that particular 2 years in a row, okay, on taxes, as well as a good credit score. While for us, we only require for the business to be 6 months in operations, your credit score to be established, no regulatory items such as collections or anything like that. But the other options that you sometimes find are peer-to-peer lenders such as Lending Club or Prosper. Another solution will be credit cards, which are high interest rates around like 20% all the way to 27%, but depending on your credit. And then the final one, which is going to be the least expensive, but at the end of the day, you're gonna end up paying more. The payday lenders, what we call the predatory lenders. These particular lenders are such as Cabbage, and then other ones out there, Funbucks. What they do is they give you the access to capital right away without requesting no financials. They only look at your credit. But here's the turning point. When you get the loan from them, they never disclose the actual interest rate that you're going to be paying. So what it is, it ends up being more expensive because you're paying daily, weekly, bi-weekly. So at the end of the day, it's going to hurt your cash flow rather than you seeking help through your credit card that you only get the money once and then pay monthly, or just getting a business loan where you only have to pay once a month. The payday lenders, we totally don't recommend them. We advise not to get them through them. If you have a better option than doing that, then go for your credit cards or go to a local bank or even SBA loan. But never use one of those because trust us, we get to see those on a daily basis, and at the end of the day, it's hurting the business cash flow. Even though yes, you get the loan really fast, no financials, no questions asked, but here's what, you're paying a lot of money towards a lot of interest rate that was never disclosed since the beginning.
Yes, and I wanted to hop in, Adriana.
Yeah,
I wanted
of course.
to tell this little cautionary tale because you please pay attention to that. I have a client who unfortunately fell into those payday lenders and payday loans, and she was getting charged 30% interest daily. So imagine the hole that puts you in, having to pay that type of bill and that type of financing daily. The interest accrues over time, and she's been paying this off for 3-4 years now, and it was a small loan. So please be careful.
And now that you're bringing it up, it's because we're warning everyone to make sure you don't reach out to those lenders. Why? They never disclose the interest rate. They never disclose the fees, how much you're gonna be paying. You get the money, but then you never know. It's like Andre is saying, it can be 4 years you're still paying for the loan, and then when you're actually trying to pay off the loan, because I've seen cases, you try to get a hold of them, they're never reachable. Like there's nowhere like a human contact. Like when you're applying for a loan, either with us or with the bank or your local banker, no, everything's an automated system. So so that's the thing. You get the loan fast, but then it's hard to get to reach out to them once you're actually ready to pay it off. So just be careful with those particular lenders.
Absolutely. And if you ever have to, please make sure that you talk to your business consultant or a lawyer to review the contract, because this particular client that I'm thinking of, they put it in their contract. Usually a corporation or an LLC can differentiate between personal and business assets, but they specifically write down that have where your business not be able to pay the loan, they can go after you after your personal finances. So be
Exactly.
careful. There's a reason it's called predatory loans. Thank you, Adriana. That
My
was a
pleasure.
great
Sure.
point.
So let's go ahead and move forward with the next slide. Okay. So like I mentioned, you do have options when it comes to getting capital for your business. Other alternative ways could be grants, maybe applying for a government grant. As you guys know, due to the pandemic, the economic injury disaster grant was available for almost a year and a half. So that was an option. Also banks through private institutions. One of the grants that we work in partnership with for women entrepreneurs is the Tory Burch Foundation. This particular foundation actually provides grants to businesses that are just starting up, only women entrepreneurs and minorities. That's one of the options. Also individual donors, volunteers, etc. And then getting capital through donations from corporations, low interest loans from banks, the SBA, or even Kiva. Kiva, I don't know if a lot of you guys have heard of it, but Kiva is an institution, it's a nonprofit institution. It's a microlender as well. They're based out of here nationwide from the US, and then they provide access to capital, but the access to capital they provide is really small. The loans are from 500 all the way to 5,000. The way they do it that small is because it is for a client who needs working capital right away, is able to pay them back. So they pay when they pay up the 5,000, then they get another 5,000. So it's a nonprofit organization that assists individuals who have an immediate need, but only have small need of capital. They don't need something bigger than that. And rather than using a credit card where you're going to have, your interest rate be around 20% all the way to 27, depending on your credit score, then they provide you low interest rates. And then finally, accessing your own revenue, either from the income that you receive from your full-time job, your retirement income, accessing your 401k if you have no penalties in getting that money in advance, and then also public and private partnerships. So the 4 C's of borrowing: credit, cash flow, collateral and consignor, and character. When it comes to applying for a small business loans, you have to make sure you have a good credit score. Okay. Cash flow, that your business is generating sufficient income in order to be able to pay back your business expenses, such as your rent, your employees, your supplies and materials, equipment, etc. Also, have enough to be able to pay your personal expenses, and then have a little bit left over in order to be able to sustain and pay a loan. That's what the cash flow looks at. We look at the cover ratio. So just making sure that you have enough income to be able to sustain all those expenses combined and have something left over at the end of the month, each month, in order to be able to pay a loan. Then comes collateral. Collateral can be anything from business equipment, any machinery that you have that is fully paid, of course. So business vehicles, and then cosigner. Cosigner is anyone that is able to make financially be responsible for your loan, okay, at the same time, and then be able to use that person's extra source of income in order to be able to help you when it comes to the cash flow, okay? So let's say you're applying for a small business loan. Your business just started out. You're only generating about $5,000 a month, and your cash flow is tight, okay? Because you pay employees, you pay your rent, and you're left, well, almost $1,000 a month. That's not enough, because then you have to pay your home rent, your bills, everything reporting on your credit. So then the co-signer steps in. They provide their pay stubs from their particular income in order to be able to sustain, okay, to help you out. But at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind that when it's reaching to a co-signer to be able to help you out when a small business loan, both of you are liable for the loan. Meaning, if one stops paying the loan or something happens to the original borrower, the co-signer is always going to be the one responsible in having to pay that debt, and it's going to be reporting on both of the person's credits. So keep that in mind, okay? It's not a question that you ask like, someone or a friend or anything, can you be a co-signer? No, because it's something that at the end of the day is going to impact that person's credit, okay, for the rest of their life. So just keep that in mind. And then finally, we look at character. Character can be anything that might be showing on the public records about your past, such as criminal history, theft, etc. Okay, so those are the 4 C's that we look when it comes to applying for a small business loan, either with us or with any financial institution out there. Credit. What is credit? So credit, pretty simple. It's the ability to borrow money and manage it responsibly. So you buy now, you pay tomorrow, and it reports constantly on a monthly basis on your credit report, whether it is that you're getting a credit card, whether it is that you have an auto loan, a mortgage, student loans, even medical bills, anything can report on your credit. If you apply for finance, okay, and then of course you provided your social security number. So that's always that. So always look at the small print. You wouldn't believe the number of individuals that we come to us for access to capital, and then we pull their credit report, and then they see a high number of credit inquiries from auto companies, credit card companies, and they're like, oh wait, I received an offer in the mail, I received an offer in my email, so I just click accept. And then what happens once you do that? Automatically your credit's going to be pulled, so that damages your credit score, and at the same time it's going to be reporting there for at least a year. So keep in mind, always be cautious of what it kind of offer it is that you're accepting or you're offering or inquiring about, because anytime that you have to provide your social security, or even for credit cards that you already have, they're offering you another credit card, they automatically, you are authorizing them to pull your credit. So that's what's credit. So why is credit important? It's important for an individual when it comes to buying a home, renting an apartment, borrowing money, financing your car, getting even an insurance policy, and applying for a job. Okay. When it comes to the business, credit helps them by growing, reporting it with the business credit bureaus, increase the capacity, okay, the availability that they have in order to be able to get more cash flow into the business. Buy inventory, equipment, or working capital, anything from inventory, marketing, advertising, you name it. So at the end of the day, you see that credit is not just important for you as an individual, but also for your business. And your personal credit is always going to be used when it comes to your business. So if you're applying for a business loan, your personal credit, you're always going to have a personal guarantee, okay, on your personal credit based on the business loan. So it's always the business loan is always going to report on your personal credit as a personal guarantee. So you also have to keep that in mind. Whether you're applying for a loan with a financial institution or a local bank or even the SBA, everyone is going to report your business loan as a personal guarantee, and then they're gonna file a UCC. So UCC, every time you get a loan, the business one, the state of Florida, every financial institution is mandatory to file a UCC, meaning that they have an asset to all your liens, okay, of all your business. So whatever it is, if you get an example, a loan with the SBA, you got the IDL, the economic injury disaster loan, or just a traditional SBA loan, they're gonna file a UCC, meaning that they can, anytime that you stop paying the loan back, okay, they're gonna go ahead and go and seek all your assets, whether it be inventory or materials, machinery, equipment, in order to be able to pay the loan off and satisfy that particular debt. So keep that in mind. Personal credit is very important when it comes to applying for business credit. Okay, so credit history. As many of you guys know, there's 3 credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. All of them report a summary of your credit history that includes payments to credit cards, loans, whether personal loans, business loans, student loans, mortgages, medical bills, utility bills. Even if you have an apartment that you were on lease and then you didn't finish the lease, and then you stop paying that particular apartment, anything can report on your personal credit. You have to keep that in mind. It also includes collections, any bankruptcies, liens, any public record. So it's always a good idea to make sure you're monitoring your credit, okay, at least on a monthly basis, to make sure that whatever is reporting on there is accurate, okay? You wouldn't believe the number of individuals that we see on a daily, okay, that we pull credit. They authorize us to pull credit to apply for a small business loan with us, and then what happens? A collection from last year comes up. Collection from 3 years ago, medical bills from the hospital or medical's office or anything. They are not aware. Why? They got the bills in the mail, they got the emails, maybe you threw them away, they deleted them, etc. Whatever, for whatever reason, they weren't aware. So that particular collection was accumulating there for a year, 2 years. What happens is hurting your credit score. So it's always good to make sure that you keep an eye on your credit history and at least put your credit report, okay, on a yearly basis to make sure what's reporting on there. So the scoring system for the FICO. So when you think about applying for a small business loan, we look at FICO. All financial institutions look at FICO. There's a two difference. There's the FICO and the Co-Advantage. A lot of institutions such as Chase, Bank of America, CD, Capital One, etc. If you have a credit card through them, they allow you to check your credit score for free, right? But you have to keep in mind that the credit score that they're reporting is called Co-Advantage credit, okay, which is an accumulation of all the credit scores from all the 3 credit bureaus, okay? But it's not the same as the FICO, okay? From whatever Co-Advantage credit score you have, I usually recommend clients to deduct at least 20 to 25 points to have a more realistic idea of what the FICO is, okay? The FICO is the credit score that is reported to financial institutions per 3 credit bureaus, okay? What is the FICO made of? 10% is newly established credit, whether you recently got a credit card, you got a loan, a mortgage, etc. 30% is the amount of debt that you owe, okay, to those particular financial institutions. 10% is the types of credit used, meaning was it a credit card, was it a loan, was it a personal loan? 15% goes to the length of the credit history. So the more that you had that particular credit or credit card or loan or etc. reporting on your credit, the better it's going to help you with your credit score. And then finally, which is the highest one, 35% goes to payment history, meaning are you paying your particular lenders on a monthly basis? Have you been late? How many times have you been late? And then, so payment history is important. So you always have to make sure that you keep in mind when it comes to applying credit, how it's going to affect your credit. Whether you pay on time, what kind of loan it is, whether you go over the limit. Okay, we also see that a lot on a daily basis as well. Individuals who have credit cards, they're over the limit, they owe more, so then they can't afford to pay the credit card back. So keep that in mind and be wise when it comes to seeking credit and what kind of credit it is that you're thinking about asking for. Because at the end of the day, it's always going to report on the 3 credit bureaus, and at the end of the day, it's always going to impact your credit score. Okay, so the credit score. The lowest 350, the highest is 850. It's all going to depend on how you measure your credit, how you manage your credit, how you're paying constantly. We usually tell individuals that a good credit score around 615 or so is good, and to make sure to keep it that way by how? Make sure that you're not going over your limits on your credit cards, having at least 40% of availability from your credit cards, and then making sure that you're making payments on time. So those 3 are like the most important thing to keep an eye on credit in order to be able to make sure that your credit continues to increase, okay, and it doesn't go down. And then, like I said, making sure that you're also checking your credit constantly, so you don't have any derogatory items such as collections or anything on the reporting that you weren't aware of. Back to how to manage your credit. Same thing, making sure you're paying on time, having a good balance on your revolving credit, diversifying your trade lines, meaning not only just having credit cards or only having auto loans. Make sure you have at least a couple from one in each, like an auto loan, 2 credit cards, or just try to mix it, not have everything at the same time, put into one box. Making sure you're paying your credit cards on time, calling your creditors. So if you do see that you have a collection that is reporting there, either from a medical collection or any particular collection that can be from services such as utilities, even like T-Mobile or anything like that. If you stop paying your bill, it's going to report on your credit after 60 days that you stop paying. So being proactive, checking your credit score. Like I said, you actually have access to your credit report annually from all the 3 credit bureaus through annualcreditreport.com. Once a year, you can pull your credit for free, and it's going to give you, from all the 3 credit bureaus, it's going to give you a whole summary of what it is that you owed, what it is that you're reporting, and there you can actually see the discrepancies. Okay. If there anything that is not supposed to be there, then what you do, then you contact the particular credit bureau, whether it is Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian. If there's a collection showing up that you already pay a few months back, you have proof of payment. Then what you could do, you send in the proof of payment. Then it usually takes about 60 days or so for them to be able to remove it from your credit, and then it won't affect your credit score again. And then finally, myfico.com, you can also get a copy of your FICO credit score rather than your CoAdvantage. Remember, keep that in mind always. CoAdvantage is different than FICO. Okay, so now that we talked about credit, what it is that you need to have, how to be able to manage your credit in a healthy way, then now I'm going to focus a little bit more about the access to capital portion, the loan programs that we provide, as well as our requirement. So our basic requirements when it comes to credit, minimum FICO credit score of 575 or higher, okay, or no credit history, meaning you have zero credit history here in the U.S. No more than 3,000 in past due debt. What I mean by past due debt, going back to the other slides, is collections. Anything that you might be showing as a collection, whether medical, whether utilities, whether a lien for a particular loan that you never paid back, but then it's now reporting on your credit. That what collection is something that is past due, okay, that you owed for a certain period of time. It's not what we mean by past due. It doesn't mean your credit cards or anything like that. If you're paying your credit cards on time and everything's good, then yeah. But if it's something that's been revolving there as a collection, meaning that you never paid it, then that's what we mean by past due. No bankruptcy in the past year, or foreclosure in the last 2 years. If you have either or, then you will need to wait a full year from when the bankruptcy was discharged, as well as the foreclosure, in order to be eligible to apply for a loan. And then finally, no late payments, mortgage, okay, or home rent in the last year. These are the main requirements when it comes to accessing a business loan, either through us or a normal financial institution. The financial institution, the only thing that might change, such as banks, is its credit score. They might request a credit score of 650 or above. It depends on the bank, okay? So always keep that in mind. Nonprofit microlenders such as us, our credit score is always requirements always going to be a little bit lower because we do work with low to income, moderate businesses that need the access to capital. So that's why our requirements are a little bit more flexible compared to a traditional bank. Now, when it comes to business requirements, the business must be registered in the state of Florida, of course, through SunBiz, okay? It must have all the licenses in place. Okay, it's not like you have a business and then you require a particular license, but you're operating the business without the license. No, it doesn't work that way. So you have to make sure you have all your licenses established and then its business is registered. Then, if you need that particular assistance, in counseling and all that, that's where Prospera steps in. They can go ahead and help you step by step of how to register the business with the state, what particular licenses your business needs, depending on the industry that your business is in. If you need to develop some sort of like a shareholder agreement or anything like that relating to the business structure, then they can go ahead and assist you with that, with all the technical assistance in what it is to establish a business in the state of Florida. Okay. Also, keeping in mind something that's very important. You wouldn't believe the number of people that we see that they register the business with the state of Florida and then they list their entire family, the mom, the wife, the kids. No, please. That's why I always recommend, if you're thinking about opening a business, meet with a consultant at Prospera. They can guide you and then you register the business, because at the end of the day, whoever you put on the SunBiz and the registration, that particular person might be liable when it comes to applying for a loan. If you can't prove that that person owns a particular percentage or that person owns 0%, then there's nothing we can do. That particular person, either whether your wife, your mom, your child, etc., then they will need to apply for the loan as well. So be cautious, okay? Be cautious. The other requirement is at least 6 months of operation and then revenue. And what we mean by revenue, at least 6 months of business bank statements, reporting that the business has been generating stable and profitable revenue in order to have the cash flow to sustain a loan. And then finally, the business has to be an eligible industry that we lend to. We lend to all majorities of businesses except the ones that are listed on there. I'm just going to mention the top ones that come out of mind. Real estate. So anything that involves flipping properties, buying them, selling them, etc. We don't do that. adult entertainment, firearms, distribution of FDA not products that are not approved, currency exchanges, factoring companies, etc. We don't lend to, okay? Because at the end of the day, we are a nonprofit microlender, and then the majority of the funds that we receive are directly from the federal and state government, as well as to private and public donations. So in order to be able to consider us a community development financial institutions, we have to be able to comply with the particular requirements that they set. All the other industries that are not eligible, that are listed on there on the slide, if you have a particular business that is towards those, then your other option will be seeking help from the SBA, because the SBA, they are more flexible when it comes to requirements, okay, for the businesses that are eligible to apply for a loan with them. Okay, so we have two programs. The first one that we have is our traditional lending program. These are loans that go from 500 all the way to 50,000. The interest rate is going to depend on your credit score and your credit history. You see, this is where your credit becomes very important. The lowest interest rate that we offer is 6%. The highest is 9.99. We offer flexible payments options, with the first year of only being payments towards interest only. And then we also use a soft pull technology that does not impact your credit. Meaning, if you're thinking about applying for a loan, what we do is we do a soft pull to see what your credit score is, your FICO. If you meet the credit requirements, then we go ahead and pull your credit. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to avoid individuals who don't meet the requirements having an unnecessary credit inquiry on your credit. Because remember, every time your credit is pulled, it's always going to impact your credit score. Your credit score is always going to go down. Depending on the institution, it might go down 5 to 10 points. So keep that in mind. For our loans, they're, like I said, affordable, fixed interest rate. There's no prepayment penalty, meaning you can pay off the loan whenever you want to. And then the next program that we have is called SOAR. It is under the Southern Opportunity and Reliance Fund. This particular program was established May of last year. With other various organizations, a total of 12 organizations. We're one of them. The other 12 are also microlenders. The focus of this particular program is to be able to help entrepreneurs and businesses that were affected by the pandemic. Okay, the loans range from 500 all the way to 100,000. The interest rate is 4%. Okay, the first year of payments is only towards interest. Second year is principal and interest. The minimum credit score for this particular program, the same as the other program, 575 or 0 credit score. The only two major differences with the lending program, a traditional lending program, and this program is that the business has to be in operations, register, and generating revenue per taxes prior to September 2019, which was prior to the pandemic. So that's, we look at the finances of the business prior to the pandemic, not after the pandemic, because we know that all the businesses were affected, so that's why. And then the annual revenue can exceed more than 5 million. This particular program is also in Florida, as well as the other southern states such as Alabama, Georgia, Delaware, North Carolina, South Carolina, etc. Okay. So those are the two major differences: the timing operations, how much the business is generating, and then the interest rate. Of course, this particular program, the lowest interest rate is 4%, because it's a program that is guaranteed by this particular fund that we created with an additional other 12 institutions. Excellent. So if you guys have any questions when it comes to, what kind of loan, whether you qualify for one program or not the other, or anything from resources available, you can go to our website. You have our direct number as well as our email. So now maybe we can do a Q&A, Andre? Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to write on the chat. I've also placed the Ascendus website on there, and I'm going to put in loans@ascendus.org.
Yeah.
So you guys can just copy and paste it.
Yeah.
Give you guys a couple minutes to write any questions. If you don't have any questions, then we'll move forward with the end of the program.
Yeah. And going back to the other programs that Andre was mentioning, we do work in partnership with Prospera, okay, for those particular entrepreneurs that need anything from business counseling, how to establish a business, how to register a business, all that. That's how Prospera comes in. And then we also work in partnership with the Miami-Dade Community Navigator Program. That it does the same thing. It provides counseling services to businesses in Miami-Dade, and all the services they offer are free of charge.
And Adriana, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm not seeing any questions come in.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys. Okay, here we go. Blah, blah, blah. Always. Okay, so we have one client that said we have the credit requirements, but we were rejected for a loan with Ascendus because we have high debt in our credit card. So I think they're speaking about the debt to income ratio here.
Exactly. So the debt to income ratio. So like I was saying before, we always look at the debt to income ratio. If you go over your debt, and then the amount of debt that you have is too high, and then how your business generating is not enough to be able to sustain, then unfortunately that will be one of the reasons that an individual can get declined. If the income that you're making on your business is not sufficient enough to be able to cover business expenses and personal expenses, such as all the debt that is reporting on your personal credit report. In those particular cases, when we do have individuals that get declined for that, then we always recommend them to work on their credit by A, reducing the amount of debt that they have on their credit cards, making sure they don't go over the limit, okay? And B, okay, waiting at least 3 months until the business sales improve, are more stable, okay, and having the positive bank statements. What I mean by positive bank statements is making sure you don't have overdrafts, NSF fees, negative end of month balances, you name it. All that is going to impact how an underwriter sees your loan. So if you have all that, it means it shows a poor negative image. If you have your bank statements are positive, your end of the month balance are stable, your business is profitable, then that's a different story. So always keep that in mind. It's an accumulation of everything: credit, character, like I said before, and then cash flow.
Okay. So yes, client, Mr. Yu, here at Prospera, one of the things we like to say is we protect all our information is confidential. So Mr. Yu, glad we were able to answer your question. And yes, start making a plan on working on getting that amount of debt down. Wait 3 months, 3 to 4 months, and make sure you go to a business consultant here at Prospera so we can take a look at preliminary analysis and see if you've been able to work on get that debt to income ratio to an acceptable level. And it's not just the sentence. Every bank it looks into that very closely. Okay. Next question. Should I have my business registered before asking for a loan from the bank?
Yes, that's a priority. When it comes to applying for a business loan, your business must be already registered with the state of Florida, and you must already have all the license that pertain to that particular business. And that's when Prospera comes in. I don't know if Andre, you want to add something else on top of that?
Okay, so I'm going to add Mr. R. Yes, absolutely, but I would start talking with your banker or your business consultant, or if you have a relationship with Adriana or someone at Ascendus, start talking about the ideas and why you're looking for a loan, because then they can start giving you these great information of, hey, how much debt do you have? What's your credit score going at right now? So that way, you are able to start developing a plan and getting ready for the loan before you even register the business. Okay, so that's one way you can prepare before you get the business registered and starting the process of the business loan. Okay, we have one more so far. Businesses are being squeezed in every direction. Oh, I know what. Businesses are being squeezed in every direction because of inflation, high interest rates. How are we to respond? First COVID and now inflation. What can we do to help ourselves?
Well, you have to seek all the resources that you have available on there. Like I said, always keep an eye on not getting it, even if you are in need for capital and your business is not in a good situation. Try to avoid predatory lenders, okay? Because once you get stuck with a particular predatory lender, there's no going back. Looking at all the resources that you have, okay, locally with the Miami-Dade County, the state, the SBA. There are a lot of resources that are free that can go ahead and assist you. Maybe applying for a grant, keeping an eye whether Miami-Dade is offering a local grant. Back during the pandemic, we were providing small business loans through the county itself that ended up becoming grants. So always keeping in mind there are resources available out there. It's just a matter of getting informed and keeping an eye on. And then this is when organizations like Prospera, the Miami-Dade Community Navigator come in, because they provide you with the resources available in order for you to be able to take action.
Absolutely. I'm glad. Thank you so much for that question, because one of the things we say here at Prospera is the best time to look for help is before you're even needed. So, you don't want to be have your business set up and have everything running smoothly you want to have everything running slowly before the hurricane hits, before COVID hits, right? That's when you really need it. That's when you have everything structured and all the documentation in place to be able to access the help, such as the PPP loans, EIDL loans, or microloans that Ascendus offers, or any other loans that are available, right? So the time to try and look for help is now. Great question. Do we have another one? Here we go. Everybody woke up, Adriana.
That's good. Maybe they had their afternoon cafecito.
Así que rico, un cortadito. Bueno, Mr. Yu is back, and he asks, how can we have access to grants? Is Prospera able to help businesses when looking for grants? The answer is yes. So the form that we help in terms of grants, we actually changed the names from grants to entrepreneur development tools, because it is a form of grant, and we are paying for your business to have specialized services that some maybe you don't know you need, or maybe you aren't able to afford. For working with a CPA, having a business plan developed, taking a look, having your business incorporated by a legal professional. We also work with a lot of community partners. So if such as District 5 or different districts within the community, specifically here in South Florida, I can speak for myself, and that I've been able to work with some of my other clients that when District 5 and District 7 sent out a mom and pop grant, I was able to help them get all the licenses they need. I was able to tell some of my businesses that were in District 5 and didn't know about it, hey, take a look at this grant, see if it applies to you. With the SBDC right now, it has a program for restaurants, and it's kind of like a cohort where you meet with mentors, and then you have a chance to apply for financial grants at the end. So we do get, as part of Prospera being part of the community, and then I'm sure Adriana and Sendas also get a lot of information from different community and government organizations that they have grants available. If I hear that, I'm the first one to go ahead and reach out to my clients. So yes, we don't have any financial grants available, Prospera does, but we do hear from them, and we're able to reach out to our clients and let them know.
It's all about staying informed and asking about the resources that are available out there, because if you don't ask, then you won't know.
Exactly. So, okay, it seems like we're out of questions, so I just want to go ahead and move on. And once you guys remember, I know we had a lot of information. If you're looking to consult with set up a consultation, maybe look into more seminars, please reach out to me at amora@prosperausa.org if you are in South Florida. If not, please take a note at these contact emails. We have, offices in Orlando, Tampa, Atlanta, Brookhaven, Georgia, Raleigh, Charlotte, North Carolina. We're all over the place, and we're growing because the mission works. Okay. I also want to give you guys a couple minutes to write this down. Okay. If you weren't able to write it, just let me know in the chat. Also want you to remember to follow us on Instagram. Everybody, part of being a small business and an entrepreneur is making sure everyone follows you on Instagram. Part of working for a nonprofit means I can wear a lot of hats. One of them is social media manager. Please follow us at Prospera USA. You will see when the events come out. You will see who we're working with. You will see us in the community, and you'll get to know some of the clients that are out there that are success stories. We like to highlight our clients. So if you follow us, you're also helping your fellow entrepreneurs. And remember some upcoming seminars. next month, we have the ones we are partnering with Miami Beach as well. Estrategias de mercadeo en las redes sociales, or in English, digital marketing strategies for social media. Registers today at prosperausa.org/seminars. And there's another page you can go on as well. I will put it in. That is the Miami Beach Economic Development Department site. And I'm going to get it for you guys right now. We got one more question. You're right on time because the last one is questions. How much should we request for businesses at 80K revenues? So I guess what the question is if how much revenue do I need if I'm looking for $80,000 in financing? And that depends.
Exactly. It's all going to depend on how much you can afford to pay back and how much your cash flow is. So I can never give you an exact, because I get this question a lot, individuals applying for a loan.
Too.
I'm generating 20,000 a month. Can I get a $100,000 loan? That's going to be a no. So you always have to, look at the debt to income ratio. You always have a good idea. So if your business generating, just to give you an example, $15,000 a month, then most likely you're prone to getting a $12,000 loan. That's how I always keep it. Keep it in mind. Be more realistic than trying to go too high.
Yes.
There's nothing bad in going too high, but then at the end of the day, you always have to be realistic that at the end of the day, the credit committee or the underwriters are not going to go for that because it's all going to be dependable on the cash flow of the business.
Absolutely. And you also want to think of it, how much money do I have at the end of the month? And can I take on this additional burden
Exactly.
and this additional mental stress of where I have to pay these people back because they're able to help me?
Exactly.
That's one thing that I don't think people think of before applying
They don't.
for a loan.
Or they also don't think about, do I have at the end of the month enough in case of an emergency?
Emergency.
Look what happened with the pandemic. No one was prepared. A lot of businesses got affected. And then why? Because they weren't saving that little extra $1,000, $2,000 that they had at the end of the month, putting on the savings. It went in, it went out. It went in, it went out. So they never had a
At least
savings
6
cash flow.
months.
Yeah.
At least 6 months.
Exactly.
Of for rent personally and for personal expenses and business expenses. Okay. So, okay, we got another question from Mr. Yu. As we were rejected, can we try again applying a second time for a loan, but with a lower amount requested?
Well, at the end of the day, if you were rejected because I believe it was credit, you still have to work on your credit.
Yeah.
You can't just apply for a loan continuously because it's not doing anything. It's actually affecting your credit. And in the case that you decide to apply with another financial institution, they're going to see why did the Ascendus or X, Y, and Z pull your credit. And you're going to have to explain to them the reasons why you were declined. And then that already is giving you a negative check mark on your character part and on your credit part when it comes to applying for a loan. So don't. If when it comes to applying, you have to be patient. You have to work on those particular items that we already mentioned before, and then just wait and then improve the credit, improve the cash flow, okay, and then the business sales.
It's a process.
It's a process. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Okay. And here I'm. If you are a Miami Beach based business, I'm also putting my partner Michael Rivera's email in there. If you want to add some more information, they do have financial grants for through CDBG for Miami Beach based businesses. They're also helping us give these seminars and technical assistance to Miami Beach businesses. So if you have any questions or you need some additional information from them, you can reach out to him and Michael Rivera at miamibeachfl.gov. You can reach out to me at amora@prosperausa.org as well. And okay, nice. I really appreciate it. I'm very interested in a consultation. I need legal counsel to know the best structure of the business. Please send the email. Thank you so much. We hope to see you soon. I don't know where you're at, but if you're South Florida, I hope to see you in our Doral office. But if I don't see any other questions, Adriana, I want to thank you again so much for your time. And I think that will be all for today. Let me just that will be all for today. Thank you so much. And if no questions, I want to wish you all a good night Enjoy your rest of your day. It's still sunny outside. It's summer in Miami. Hopefully you guys are able to head to the beach or enjoy the rest of your evening. Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
so
Have a
much.
good evening, everyone. Thank you.